Hi everyone, my name is Sydney and today we're going to be talking about the last book in the Scythe series, The Toll by Neal Shusterman. It's basically about a world where we've conquered death. Within this society there are people who are labelled as scythes, and these scythes have the power to glean you in order to keep the population at a particular rate. And we follow the main characters of Citra and Rowan. There's a lot of depth to this story, especially having 3 books. I personally think every single person should read this series because it is actually that fucking good. It is so good. I personally could not have read this book at a better time. With everything going on with this COVID-19 stuff, reading this book really made me draw parallels towards that, so it was just really interesting and also like, fuck. So honestly, I think I should just go into the spoilery section because it's time. Go read it, come back, and then we can talk. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna start from the end because I'm probably gonna get a lot of shade for this. I wasn't as satisfied with the end. Like, I get it and I appreciate it, but for me personally, there was a lot of questions that were left unanswered. For example, where did Citra and Rowan go? Like, where did they end up? I also felt like the ending was quite rushed, and with that being said, this is a big book, and as a flaw, Neal Shusterman was really bouncing back and forth between characters and stories. I really loved the whole backstory of Scythe Goddard, and I wanted more of that, but we didn't get as much of it as I would have liked. Yes, we got that whole scene of Owen being captive and he's about to be burned in front of an entire audience. Scythe Goddard ended up gleaning the entire audience. That was fucked up. That was a moment that reminded me of the power that Goddard holds, especially as being High Blade. Fuck. I wish we had more of those kind of moments. Rowan's storyline in this book was very disappointing as well. That he was literally just held captive the whole way through, just by different people. And how he ended up meeting Citra again felt really rushed for me as well and didn't really make sense. I loved Grayson Tolliver in the Thunderhead. He ended up being my favourite character because of his story. I did think it was amazing within this book that you can see how much he changed with having this role of power, with having this role that's so tied to religion. It's insane. I think Grayson's character in itself kind of was lost within being the Toll. What I really enjoyed about this book was the parallels towards religion and humanity, massively towards this time that we're in. As a society, we were thrown into uncertainty, into something we've never seen before, which is the same as this society with the Thunderhead shutting everyone out. I really liked the parallels towards religion because looking at Grayson and the Thunderhead, you can really see a godlike figure and Jesus. Neal Shusterman has such an incredible mind of being able to cause readers to really look between the lines, and that was something I really enjoyed. So the whole storyline of Munira Faraday, I really disliked it in this book. In the Thunderhead, we were given new information about a new island, which is completely something the Thunderhead isn't even aware of. And I thought that was exciting, something interesting. But to then have, I guess they're spaceships, rockets that they ended up creating, having that be the moral of that island for them to form new life up in space. I honestly still don't know how I feel about it, because I personally think we didn't even need the space thing, that they could have just had a new life on this island because no one was aware of it. And this was another thing that I was disappointed in. No one knows about this island. How the hell was Goddard able to get to this island at the end when this island was literally kept secret? And just that didn't make sense to me, how Goddard was able to get there so quickly. And also for Rowan especially to get there so quickly. I guess it is really interesting to have this space element. Neal really brought emphasis towards how much time it takes to get to space, but also it brings this question of whether it's even worth it. I thought it was really funny how the Thunderhead remade himself as Sirius. It really made me think towards our phones and how we all have Siri. Something I really enjoyed about this story was learning more about the rings the Sides have. All the rings broke, and within each of them was the different pandemics that we've seen within history of influenza, diseases, the Black Plague, etc, etc. I thought that was really cool to look at the societies having to deal with these things they thought they were free from because of living an immortal life. It really made me look at today's society, how we are experiencing these things. We are living mortal lives, and what does that mean to live a mortal life? I really enjoyed Scythe Morrison's storyline within reading this book because I thought it was fucking epic that he ended up working for Grayson. Of him being a Scythe that's able to kill another with his bare hands alone, to him then working for Grayson was just really epic. I really liked that little twist. I also really liked how Jerry and Grayson ended up being together. That was a really nice touch. But also really sad that Grayson ended up completely disconnecting himself from the Thunderhead. And again, I thought this was completely unnecessary. There was a moment in the end of this book where the Thunderhead was able to... I don't even know what fucking happened. The Thunderhead took Jerry as a host for a second. That made no fucking sense to me. How the hell did the Thunderhead do that? And how has he not been doing that this whole time? Like, why? I found it really sad at the end of this book to see that Astrid ended up being on a ship completely on her own, going up to space. That was really, really sad. And then you've got Citra and Rowan together, but their story was really sad as well because Citra was deadish for that entire time. I also love how Rand ended up killing Scythe Goddard. That was fucking awesome. But then again, I wish there was more to it. I wish we got more of a showdown because I personally love action, and Goddard is like the definition of action. We're always waiting for something to happen with him. I did think it was cool though how Rand ended up bringing back Tiger in doing so. I thought that was really cool. I also personally really liked how at the end of this book we saw a new light to the role of a Scythe. How in a way they're euthanizers. They now bring peace to suffering rather than bring suffering. But yeah, I'm kind of in two minds of how I feel about this book because I really enjoyed it, and as 3 books as a whole, this series is incredible. There's so much depth and I truly love it, but there were many things that I personally didn't think made sense or didn't necessarily have to be in this book. There's a lot that could have been cut out, and I guess the story could have went in many different ways. Please tell me your thoughts about this book. I'd love to hear what you think about the characters and how it all went down. Were you expecting something more to happen at the end? I think maybe that's my issue, that I was expecting something much more intense to happen at the end, and instead it felt like they were just escaping and running away from their problems. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm really excited to hear what you thought about this book. I will see you guys in my next video. So as usual, bye!